Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good day in general, good day. Checking my sound. Test, test. Is the sound working? Test, test. Is the sound working? Yes, it is. Perfect. Hello. Yes, it is. Perfect. Hi. Hello. Can you all see me okay by this bird? Can you guess what we're talking about today? Anyone want to guess? We're talking about birds. Want to know why? Because I like them, because birds are fun. So, yeah. Um biggest reason we're talking about birds is because of course, this weekend there's a very exciting thing coming up called the Great Backyard Bird Count. This is an annual event that happens every year just before migration. So, citizen scientists, that means anybody, can participate in tracking birds and figuring out how birds are doing, how many are around. It's pretty cool, actually. It's a lot of fun. I quite enjoy the Great Backyard Bird Count, personally. I find it fun. It's a good time. Yeah. Hey, Jaro. Hi. Hi, Upham. Hi. Hello, friends. So I'm back. I'm around. Uh, Starting to feel a lot better because, of course, as you all know, I suffer from migraines. Yeah. And those were my life for quite some time. Those are still kind of my life. I mean, it's still a problem, but not as big a problem, I guess. But yeah. So I'm back, having less migraines all the time, having less issues. Um, Hanging out at home, hanging out, doing things like watching birds. And yeah, oh, I'm not trying to buy things. I just wanted to show you some different bird resources and things like that. So, of course, my favorite website is the Cornell Lab of Ornithology because, that's where I go to learn about birds because they have a lot of really good information, a lot of really good resources. You can pick other websites, of course. You can go pretty much anywhere to learn about birds, but I have my preferences because, you know, I'm a biologist, I'm a bird nerd, and I just, I really like the different kinds of resources they have. So, this bird up front here is a Bohemian waxwing. They actually look very similar to another bird we have here in Alberta called a cedar waxwing. So, you kind of, you start to learn in general with birds, it's not just about how they look, it's also about things like size, color pattern. There's lots of little differences, the way they sound. There's lots of ways to tell birds apart. So today, I want to teach you a little bit about how to identify birds. And anyone can ID birds. It doesn't have to be super hard. But I also want to teach you a little bit about like where to find birds, how to bring birds to your backyard, and answer any birdie related questions you have. So if you have a question at any time about birds or a bird, birds, what is that bird, anything like that, please drop it in the chat. So I will do my best to answer your questions. And we can talk about birds. Learn together. So let's do some learning about birds. So this is what I'm talking about. The Great Backyard Bird Count happens every year. It's global, so it doesn't matter where in the world you are. So even if you are in Europe or Africa or Australia or wherever, it doesn't matter. You can participate because everybody can participate in learning about, well, not learning about birds, sorry, but the backyard bird count. Counting your birds, seeing birds, because birds are everywhere. They literally are. There might even be a bird in the room with you right now. Or there might not. I don't know. So the global backyard bird count every year happens, kind of mid-February, February. I can't say the word now. February. 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 God, I can't talk. It's fine. No one cares. It's fine. But yeah, so in February, you've got backyard bird count. This year it's February 13th to 16th. And this photo, I actually get these birds in my backyard. So these ones, the red looking birds, are named purple finches. And I think that's really funny because they're never really a purple color. They're always this kind of red, sort of purple, but not really. And then there's the American goldfinch over here. They're really pretty. They're a pretty little bird. But finches, you can tell, are finches because not just of the shape of the bird and the size of the bird, like they're a small little bird, but like they've got that very songbird shape, that very classic this is a bird shape. They've got the big beak, they got the little eyes. They make the tweet like a bird. They're a bird. Pippin, don't. Hey buddy, come here. Come here. My dog is very upset that I'm streaming, but he has to get over it. Hey Google, play CKUA radio. Kennel. Kennel. We're gonna hope that he's a little bit happier now. Oh, Pippin. It's not always about you, bud. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's about me. Sometimes it's actually about me. Okay. Lost my train of thought there. Wait 1 sec. I'm just gotta change some stuff. Just gotta change up some stuff in the background. There we go. There we go. Now that's better. That's better. Boop, boop. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay, that's much better now. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. So yeah, I had to talk to Pippin because I love my little boy, but he can be a little bit he can be a little bit grumpy sometimes, silly, you know what I mean. Yeah. So let's watch this video. Let's talk about the Great Backyard Bird Count. Can I make this? Yeah, that's better. That's better. Let's learn about birds. Let's learn about birds. I'm going to make myself a little smaller so I'm not taking up the whole screen so you can look at the different kinds of birds. Let's watch this video. Let's learn about the birds.
Participate in the Great Backyard Bird Count for 4 days in February to watch, learn about, count, and celebrate birds.
People from around the world spend these 4 days in their favorite places, connecting to the birds around their home and in their communities.
Whether you see one bird or hundreds over the weekend, we want to share in your joy of watching birds and connecting to nature. Count the birds you see for as little as 15 minutes on one of the 4 days. Then, submit your bird list to be part of a global movement to better understand how bird populations are doing.
Your participation matters. Il est important que vous participiez. Votre participation est importante.
Your participation connects you to the beauty that lives around you while helping scientists better monitor and protect birds around the world.
Even dogs can participate. See, that guy had a dog.
We look forward to spending this fun, special event with you.
Join us.
Únete a nosotros.
Anybody can participate, even the dog. That's what I got from that. All right, how do I unfull screen things? Oh, it's the escape button. Escape always helps. But yeah, it's really, really easy. It's easy to learn. Well, not to learn necessarily, but it's easy to bird watch. It's easy and fun. And I really love birds. So yeah, you can enter your birds on eBird or on iNaturalist. I use both apps. So I will show you eBird soon. But like 15 minutes isn't that long. So there are webinars and things like that, and they even have past YouTube videos on their YouTube channels, of course. But you don't have to like watch all of these. You don't have to be like, "Oh, I'm going to be a hardcore birder now. All my whole life is just birds." Like you can be a casual bird watcher. You can have fun however you want with the birds. So, it's really cool because if you look at this world map, these little lights are observations from around the world, and you can watch as people submit their birding checklists because when we are watching birds, we submit checklists. So you count your birds, you put on how many you see and where, basic information like how many birds, where, what kind of bird it was. You can put in what it was doing, but like you can see very quickly that there's a lot of bird activity going on, lots of birds, and lots of people. There's especially a lot in the United States, but you can see globally there's also tons in parts of Europe, in Australia, in South America. Like, it's a really fun activity to get involved with, right? Because you can bird pretty much anywhere in the world, right? You can, wherever there are birds, you can bird watch. And I think that's why I love birds so much, is of course because I can do it anywhere. And even if you don't have like fancy, expensive equipment, like I know some people have fancy cameras or binoculars. I have binoculars. You don't have to get top of the line equipment to watch birds. You can take pictures with your cell phone camera. That's what I do. And just enjoy looking at the birds, enjoying the birds, learning together. Plus, bird watching can be a really great way to make friends or meet new people. Because some places do where you can meet up and bird watch, or you can go on your own. Really, it's up to you to decide how much you want to get out of bird watching, right? So it depends. It depends on what you want to do. And you totally don't have to, do a ton of fancy bird watching stuff and go all gung ho into it. You can just have fun learning about a few birds here and there, or, whatever, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. Doesn't have to be. So, yeah, now that I've shown you that you can do it wherever you want, let's look a little more. Because, yeah, I did talk about how, so this is the great back, it's called birdcount.org. Birdcount.org. That's what it's called. I'm going to put that in the chat for you. So if you want to participate, you go to birdcount.org. That's the website I'm on. And you can see that there's different organizations that meet up together, and you can all come together and do birding as a group, or you can just do it alone. You could literally sit in your pajamas and just watch birds. I do that a lot, actually. I do that with my cats. And of course, lots of people like to take their photos and show off their photos. So if you like to take photos, you can show them off, I mean. Totally optional, right? Totally optional. Again, it's what you want to get out of it. It's what you want to do. It's not about like forcing you to do things that you don't want to do, or being like, oh, you've got to do things this way or you've got to do things that way. It's a hobby that you get to choose how much you want to participate in. And that's what I like about bird watching. Is it's a nice thing to do, right? It's fun. It's an enjoyable activity. All right. Let's see. So of course there's lots of photos. Oh, and if they do publish all of the data they gather afterwards, so everybody's information comes in, so all of your birding checklists, they come together and you find out, hey, this is how many species you saw this day. So in 2025, 8,078 species of birds were observed that day. So that's a lot of birds. That's a lot of different birds. And every bird counts, right? So we learn a lot about it. So if you're a big fan of statistics, or you want to learn more about that kind of thing, right? Because I'm not big into stats. I like the observing, the taking pictures, stuff like that. But I know some of you love statistics. Some of you love numbers. And that's totally fair. And they've got that for you. So you can learn that way. And look, see, there are dogs with this person too. 2 dogs right here. You can bring your dog birding. And look, I'm not guaranteeing you will see a dog and meet other people's dogs while bird watching, but I'm not saying you won't meet a dog by going out and bird watching. There is the potential for you to meet a dog. So I'm just saying, you could meet a dog. So for the sake of argument, let's say that I have convinced you that you should participate and learn more about birds. Is it hard? No, it's not. You can, of course, count birds using eBird, or there's also a really cool app called the Merlin Bird ID app that you get on your cell phone. You download that app on your cell phone. You just click this link and you can get it on your cell phone. And this app's really cool because it identifies birds for you. It helps you identify birds by their songs. So if you're like me, you know quite a few bird calls, but you don't know every single one. And this will also record them and give you its best guess match. So it'll bring you up a list and say, I think it's this one, and it'll highlight which one it is while the birds are singing. So if you have, let's say, a bunch of birds singing, it'll identify it from that. So it's not just like, oh, that's just one bird. I don't know who that is. No. They help you. So you can figure out who that bird that you can't see in your backyard that's been singing for days, you can find out who that is, which is very helpful, especially when you've got a tiny little bird hiding somewhere in your backyard singing away and you're like, I don't know who this is. That could be anyone. Well, and sometimes it's like, that's actually not a bird. That's a squirrel. Which is also funny because I've definitely had that where I've been like, is that a bird, a bug, or a squirrel? And then it's like, neither, it's a frog. Because of course, animal calls when you can't see the animal can be a little bit misleading. And the bird the bird right here in this photo, that is a red-winged blackbird. So the bird beside the phone, that is a red-winged blackbird. You can also identify birds from photos. So if you take a nice clear photo of the bird, hey Roach, welcome to the chat. We are all bird enthusiasts here. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yes, you can identify birds from photos. So if you take a nice clear photo of a bird, they can help you figure out who it is, which is very helpful as well. And then the last thing they have on the Merlin app is the Bird ID wizard. And these are the kind of things that you're going to want to know even if you don't have the app. You're going to want to know, okay, what bird did I see? And if you're not sure, you're going to be like, okay, how big was the bird? And the bird might have been, very small, very tiny. Because it says between sparrow and robin size, between goose size, bigger than a goose, things like that. And at first you might be like, but I don't know how big a goose is, King of Frogs. I don't know how big a sparrow is. But you can always compare the things that you see in your backyard. For example, if you were looking at, let's say, a goose, and the goose was standing beside the barbecue you have in the backyard, you could compare that goose to the barbecue. And for example, you know that a sparrow is much smaller than a barbecue. But if you have, say, a tennis ball that you throw around for your dog, you can go, okay, was that bird bigger or smaller than the tennis ball? Was that bird bigger or smaller than my shoe? Was that bird taller than me? Barbecue for scale. Exactly, exactly. So you got to think about how big things are. And the other things you want to look at is color. So birds have lots of different colors, of course, as we all know. Everything's got different colors on it. So you want to look for the main colors. You're not going to look for, like, let's say you were describing my color and I was the bird. You wouldn't be like, okay, King of Frogs is mostly red because they have red eyes. I'm not mostly red. You would probably say King of Frogs is mostly green and has yellow hair and red eyes, like things like that. And you might want to highlight the red eyes because that might be different, But maybe it's not. You got to think about these kinds of things. And it's always good to write them down if you're trying to figure it out too. And then the other things you want to look at is behavior. Was the bird eating at your feeder? Was it flying? Was it swimming? Was it on the ground? Because some birds can swim and they swim very well, like ducks, and other birds cannot swim at all. And if you look at certain birds' feet, like a duck's feet is not made for sitting in a tree. That's why you're not going to see ducks in trees. So if you see a bird in a tree, it's not a duck unless there's something kind of funky going on. But yeah, that's the kind of things you want to think about. Like, what is this bird doing? Where is it? Why is it here? What is it even thinking about? Like, different things like that, right? Yeah, different things. So we've got quite a few details to think about. Quite a bit, right? Like, how big is it? What color is it? What was it doing? Different things that help, you know, us kind of parse down what kind of bird it is. And then once you're all done, Merlin will save birds to your life list. So you will have a list of birds that you've seen over your lifetime, and you can be like, wait, I'm pretty sure I saw that bird before. Let's look at my list. And then you'll go, okay, yeah, I know that's definitely a white-tailed hawk. So I've seen a white-tailed hawk before, and that's exactly what they look like. So that's what you want to think about, right? And you also have in the Merlin app the birds near you. Another helpful thing, because I'm not saying it's impossible, because it is not impossible to have birds that just kind of end up in places randomly. We call those migrant birds, or yeah, they're like, it's a random migrant. It happens. Birds get blown off course, animals migrate, things happen. It's totally fine. Things just happen, you know what I mean? Things it can be weird. You can end up having a Russian hawk in Canada because it got blown off course. But that is a rare, less likely case. Instead, we're going to look at our bird list and we're going to explore by what's likely to be around. So right now, if I were going to look in my backyard, I would likely see things like chickadees, blue jays, ravens, things like that, right? I'm probably not going to go out into my backyard and see something wild like a shoebill stork. That's probably not going to happen for me. That's probably not going to happen. Other people will look out into their backyard and see a shoebill stork, but like that's not my kind of backyard. That's not what I'm going to see. So I want to look at what is likely to be around. And of course, as you can see on the Merlin website, they have tips and tricks for how to use it. So there's even a bird ID demo. So let's watch the little bird ID demo. Let's see how easy it is.
I saw a bird the other day that I couldn't identify. Let's get Merlin's help. Here's a photo of my mystery bird.
Yay!
Zoom until the bird fills the box, and then Merlin is your bird ID wizard. Get help identifying the birds you see and hear.
Okay, let's try this again.
To identify who's singing, tap Sound ID. Next, tap Record. And listen in with Merlin. Merlin gives you a list of who's singing in real time. When you finish recording your mystery bird, tap Stop. Now it's time to compare what you recorded with Merlin's best matches. Let's listen to Merlin's first choice, a swamp sparrow. Now let's compare this recording to the one you made. This sounds exactly like what you recorded. When you are confident, scroll down and tap This is my bird. Celebrate your newfound bird and save it to your life list by answering a few more questions about your observation. Now that you're on a roll, find more birds near you with the Explore feature.
So I just want you all to know that this is actually what the Merlin app does look like. So all of this stuff they're showing, this is stuff that you can do with the app. This is exactly how the app works. It's what's on the tin. And I find that it does work really, really well. Like it is a solid app. I haven't had any issues with it, but as always, you might want to double check before you press like, oh, if something sounds really off or really weird, you might want to double check with somebody. And that's where things like iNaturalist and other birding groups and birding websites can really be helpful. But yeah, it's always good to have things like sound recordings and photos. You don't have to, but if you want to learn more about the birds or want to go get more in the hobby, it's really fun to keep those records and keep going with them. Also, thank you, Speezix, for being subbed for 2 months. Thank you so much. 2-month subscriber. Very, very happy that you're here. And thank you for making it to the stream. And of course, thank you, Faith Piggy, for making it to the stream as well. Thank you all for making it here. I'm always very happy for you to come by. I do have the gifted sub promotion on again today. So if you do want to gift subs, that's the you get a discount if you gift 5 subs or more to other people. You can gift. There is no pressure to do so. Just wanted to let you know, if you've been thinking about subscribing, that now's the time to do so. So yeah, let's talk more about birds, because of course the Great Backyard Bird Count is coming up this weekend starting on February 13th. And like I said, it's a global event, so you can do it anywhere in the world. And I highly recommend having an app
species
like
you're most likely
Merlin.
to see where you are. Tap the filter button, choose filter by likely birds, and sort by most likely to see a list of birds you're likely to see where you are. See more about a species by tapping on the bird. You can browse photos, hear sounds, and see range maps. Merlin has many ways to help you name that bird, including photo ID. Merlin uses the same machine learning tools it uses to identify sounds to identify species in a photo. I saw a bird the other day that I couldn't identify. Let's get Merlin's help. Here's a photo of my mystery bird. Zoom until the bird fills the box, and then tap Next. Now we'll answer as many questions as we can about the photo. Tap Identify to see a list of possibilities. Merlin's first choice looks like a great fit, but let's look at a few more just to be sure.
So the questions they had you answer to use this video, to identify this photo, those are also the kinds of questions that you're just going to answer in general. So that's a big reason why I wanted to show this video to you, because Merlin is a very, very powerful tool when you're identifying birds. And as Faith Piggy just said, I always forget that Merlin can do photos. I always use it for sound. Yeah, I tend to forget that too, because for me, I find I really know my birds visually, but by sound, I still have a bit of work to do. And something funny about this, see here with the Cape May Warbler? Remember when I was saying that sometimes birds end up in places they're not supposed to be? The Cape May Warbler was actually one of those birds for me here in Alberta. I had it at my feeder it was like mid-November and the end of November. And they are supposed to be in South America by that time. So that is an example of a bird that ended up to be not where it was supposed to be. It was one of those out of scope migrants, one of those things that just kind of happened. So that's another reason why we want to track birds and see where they are, so that we can be like, why are you here? Is this a one-off? Is that something that's going to happen more frequently? Because you can learn a lot about your environment, about nature, just by observing what's going on, who's there, why are they there? We expected to see crows here, but there are ravens. Why is that? Like, is this just a natural change? Was there some great big disturbance? What's going on? It gets you asking a lot of questions, right? A late bloomer. Exactly, exactly. They didn't get the invitation to migrate like everyone else.
No, the yellow-rumped warbler is a perfect fit. Merlin is your personalized field guide, helping you put names to the birds you see and hear anywhere in the world.
Tiny Coney, thanks for making it. Hello, welcome. Oh, it's so good to see you here. I love the Merlin app. I agree, the app is really, really cool. It's so helpful. Hello. Yeah, so I know I've been talking a lot about the Cornell Lab and Merlin, and you might be like, King of Frogs, do you have a secret bird sponsorship from them? I don't. I wish I did. If the Cornell Lab gave me a sponsorship, I would be very, very excited. I am just a very, very enthusiastic birder and biologist. So I just wanted to make sure that I tell you guys all about the different tools that you can learn and use. So, yeah. So this is the website for the Merlin app. You can find it. I'll paste it in the chat here. Cornell Labs is not a law firm. Yes, yes. Tray of Bees is correct. It's correct. Cornell Labs is not a law firm. I am not a real lawyer. I do not have a law degree. I don't practice bird law. Wasn't that? Oh no, that was maritime law. I was gonna say, didn't Michael Bluth always say that he practiced bird law? But no, he would always pretend to be a lawyer and say it was and say he practiced maritime law. So yeah, if you want to participate in the Great Backyard Bird Count, again, happening this weekend, you can use the app. You can use the app, the Merlin app, to help you identify birds. And well, you can use it any time of year or anywhere in the world. I've used it in Japan. I've used it in I think I used it in Ireland when I went to Ireland too. So, yeah. You're a crook, Captain Hook. Judge, won't you throw the book at the pirate? Trey, you are correct. Bird Law was a running gag and It's Always Sunny. Thank you. I'm getting my TV shows mixed up. Cause it was Michael Bluth was the maritime law, you're a crook, Captain Hook, in grade school because they did the trial of Captain Hook. And Bird Law was the running gag in It's Always Sunny. And I think it was Charlie who always said he practiced Bird Law. Because it's Charlie. Excellent. Thank you for helping me figure that out. So yeah, I really, again, like I said, I really like Merlin. I like how they're like, you could download stuff, put it on your signs, put it on your posters. You can tell people all about it. And I'm like, okay. Or you can, download it for your iPhone or for your Android. I just use it, like I said, on my phone. I don't really know about other stuff. Apparently you can use it on Apple computers, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, somebody who knows how to use iPhones and Apple products would have to tell you more, because I just mostly know about using it on Android, because that's what I do. Anyway, so that's Merlin ID. That's the Cornell Labs Sound ID, which, like I said, it's really, really cool. Oh, right. I wanted to show you eBird. Here, I'm just going to log in. So, yeah. Currently, everything is closed for the Great Backyard Bird Count because that's not happening right now. So, when the event is on, you are allowed to enter all your data. But right now, I am not allowed to do that, which is fine. But I'm going to go over to my eBird anyway. So here's my eBird. It says that I have observed 161 different species over my lifetime. I've submitted 68 checklists. I've only put in 3 audio clips. I have 9 photos. And my best streak was 3 days. Now, I am actually really bad at remembering to submit eBird checklists, which is whatever, that's fine, because I submit my stuff mostly on iNaturalist. But what I like about eBird is that it keeps all of this information for you, and you get as you put more information in, you get things like, this is the name of the bird, this is the scientific name, the date, your location, and if you're putting it in, hey Gothic, great to see you. Hi Gothic. So you put in your information and it keeps the list of everything you've ever seen, which is very helpful. And sometimes I've just put in things like New World sparrow or woodpecker species, because they do give you the option at times, if you can't tell exactly what it is, to just put in, I know it's a gull. Number one gripe with eBird, you have to go to a desktop to add your photos and audio. Everything else about it is great. I agree, Faith Piggy. I agree. That drives me nuts. That's why I don't get that in, because I use eBird on my phone usually, because they do have a phone app. And when you use it on your phone, it automatically tracks like your location and where you are and a lot of the other data, so you don't have to put it in manually. However, it won't let you put in the audio and the photos. Hi, Tism. Hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, we got a bang in chat today. We've got all the hits. Everybody's making it out. Glad to see you all. But yeah, so it is a really good tool. I do like it and use it quite a bit. And I do like that I can do things like click on pine siskin and it'll bring me up all the information here. So, as you can see, when you click it, you get this is the pine siskin. This is the adult. And you see how it says in brackets northern? The reason it says that is because some birds actually have regional differences in their color. So you might see a pine siskin and look at it and go, well, that doesn't look like the pine siskin you were looking at. But they are the same bird, but they have slightly different variations when you go to different regions. And I know that makes things a lot harder, right? But I don't want you to worry about that. I don't want you to worry about things being like way too hard and all the learning that you have to do. For now, I want you to focus on things like if you see that bird over the weekend, if it looks like a pine siskin and it has all the right stuff and the Merlin app tells you it's a pine siskin, don't worry like is it immature? Is it Oh,
to the system.
thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Yay! Thank you. Oh, that makes me so happy. Thanks for subscribing. I get so distracted so easily. Oh, thank you. But yeah, eBird, yes, the long haul. I love it. Thank you so much. eBird's helpful because, like I said, you can look at more information. Like, I've seen it 3 times. Other people have seen it 963. Look at all these photos. And they'll also give you, like, over the year, how often they're seen, different pictures, different audio. Audio is very helpful if you're trying to learn the sounds. And they even give you a Google Maps range map. So if I hit control, I can zoom out and you can see the pine siskin is all over North America. Like, look how purple that is. But let's say I was on vacation in North Asia. I'm probably not going to see a pine siskin there. And you can also change it to the satellite version of the map. So again, very powerful tool. And you can hit listen. And we can listen to the bird. So this is a pine siskin again. Very common bird here in Athabasca in the winter. So I hear this all the time. And it's also just really nice to look at all the different photos because, of course, sometimes you look at them and you're like, oh, this is just a really nice photo. I like it looking at it. But the other thing is, because of how Am I Fox, where the frog sounds though. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't have frog sounds. I could make one for you. There you go. But yeah, so eBird is also international. So like when you look at this, see, I'll hit control zoom. As you can see, they don't have a lot of data in Nunavut. Hey, Highway Viking, hello! I am having a great day and my health has been improving. Really happy that you caught my stream. It's great to see you here. There's so many people in chat today. There's so many people. I love it. I'm really happy to see you all. And yes, my health has been getting way better. I'm in good spirits. That's why we're talking about birds, because I love birds. So just really happy to see you all here. This makes me very happy. The one limitation, of course, with eBird and actually most websites, is that they only have the data that the users submit. So if you are located in Nunavut or the Northwest Territories, as you can see, there's a lot less data coverage in the northern parts of Canada. And this is just because we don't have enough people submitting data. So if you or your friends want to help out with citizen science and you make a trip to the north or somewhere that doesn't have as much data, don't feel discouraged. Just start submitting it. I literally started submitting more and more information for here in Athabasca because there weren't enough people submitting it. And I also started submitting for Northern Alberta because the same thing, there wasn't enough information. You need, it's all based on community effort, right? So if we want to get better information out there in Nunavut, Northwest Territories, Yukon, Alaska, we got to get a bunch of citizens out there. So take your friends and family out birding. Let them know how easy it is. Download that Merlin app. I literally had my dad on the Merlin app and he was constantly making sound recordings and IDing birds. It was one of his favorite things to do. So, and my dad was not good with technology. Like, my dad would look at this, he would look at these audio recordings, he would look at that spectrogram, and he would go, I don't know what that means, but I like that I can hear the sounds. And I like that it can figure out what bird it is to me. So, and when you're actually learning bird calls, looking at the spectrograms does help a lot because if you're somebody who likes sound, if you're an audiophile, you can see like, oh, that's how the sounds change in pitch, or that's the differences they make. And like, it's just really, really neat. And eventually you just get very, very good at identifying birds just by those sounds because you learn what pitches to look for. You learn what sounds to look for. And again, like, just look at the little variations too. It's such a powerful tool. And the fact that there's so many different audio recordings is really, really helpful. Spezek says, seeing the resonances in their voice in the spectrogram is amazing. Isn't it? It's fascinating. Things that we notice right away. You look at this hummingbird, you see its least concern. They'll show their concern status there, right? So the red list category, this tool also helps us figure out, like, we can estimate how many mature individuals they are, if the population's increasing or decreasing, if we should be concerned about them, like, what's going on? Are they in danger? Are they not? If they migrate, how much range they cover, if it's got, like, the fact that they have that much information. I know it's a little overwhelming almost, but you can pretty much find whatever you want to learn about birds on the Cornell website. And it's quite cool that they do that because it just really helps you figure out, like, should we be worried? Do we need to worry? And then, of course, they've got their range maps. So I only see them in the summer because that's when they're breeding versus where they're a resident or where they go for the winter, the non-breeding. So much information you can take, right? And then, of course, there's some stuff that we just don't know. And that's okay. That's part of science. That's part of learning. You are not going to know everything. You are always going to have things that you don't know. And that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, right? Because, yeah, you can't know everything. And one of the things I find amazing about birding and bird watching and the Great Backyard Bird Count and all of this in general is that it does matter. This really does matter. So you will submit your bird count and you might think, well, I just saw one crow today. or I saw no birds. This probably doesn't matter. I don't think anyone cares. You are absolutely wrong. It does matter. Seeing no birds is significant. Seeing 20 birds is significant. Seeing one bird is significant. All of this matters because we look at all the different data, we look at all your different checklists, we look at all this different information, and we find patterns. We can see things that we didn't know before. Because of citizen science, because of average people like you and me, people who aren't scientists with money and whatever, or aren't people who have tons of influence, people who just go out and love birds and make lists of how many birds they see, because of the average person, we know a lot about birds. Out of all the different animal species, like animals, insects, plants, etc., in the world, the one area we know the most about is birds. And that is because of the average people going out, recording what they see, taking photos, taking sound clips, and helping out. And that's just something really, really powerful that I don't think we talk about enough. Citizen science, average people going out and just doing it for the love of the bird, the love of the environment, the love of nature. Because of people like us, we know more than we ever could have if we were just sending out one or two scientists. Just think about that a little bit. It's not just one person, it's all of us, communities, collections of people. It's amazing. That's powerful. I'm going to play a hummingbird call now. I feel like I got a little intense there with how passionate I was. um I just really love birds. I need to grab some more water quick. I need to hydrate. So everybody take 5, take a minute to hydrate. And yeah, think about the kinds of birds you love and why. I'll play a video for you. Hummingbirds chittering is great. I agree. Let's see. Maybe I'll play the Great Backyard. Hmm. I think I might actually have a free course here that I can show you while I drink. I just oh, I just love them so much. But yeah, let's see if I can show you something. Hmm. Let's talk about I'll play this for you while I'm How long is this video?
Okay, here we are.
Oh, it's really long. It's like an hour. Whoopsies. I'll 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 play you part of this video while I'm grabbing water. Here, enjoy the video. This is from last year. Let's get a few minutes in.
18th to 17th.
Dun, dun, dun.
Basically, you just have to count birds, one time for 15 minutes or more, sometime during
There you go.
those 4 days of the count period. So you can just participate once if you'd like, or many times over those 4 days. And you don't have to count from the same place each time. So you can kind of mix it up and go different places. As Olivia mentioned, one of the tools that we have for submissions is the Merlin Bird ID app, and that's a really helpful tool for folks who are still learning their birds. So the app lets you either record the sound of the bird, answer a few questions about the bird and what you're seeing, or you can take a picture as well, and it'll actually help you identify the bird that you're seeing. So it's a great tool for the count. And then as you are maybe using the tool and going through that process to try and figure out a tricky bird ID, you are honing your bird ID skills and you're getting better for next time. So that's a great one. And let's see, to answer some of the other questions, I'm just going to share my screen here. And just show you the website. This is the main homepage for Great Backyard Bird Count. And there are a ton of resources available for learning birds in your area. So to find a list of resources that we have here on this website, you can just click on the Help tab and go to Help Identifying Birds. And we have a really nice list here that I just wanted to highlight a few from. So I mentioned the Merlin Bird ID app. That is a great one. In addition to that, there is also the Audubon Bird Guide app, which is a great thing to have on your phone as you're out in the field. You can use it to try and figure out some of those tricky birds. And then there are also some really great web-based field guides that are available. So one that we have right here is the Audubon's Guide to North American Birds, and then also Cornell Lab's All About Birds website. So some really great resources to go through and kind of learn your bird identification, which can definitely be tricky. Another thing that newcomers might find useful is actually having a list of all of the potential birds that they might see in their area during the time of the count. And so if you head over to that participate page on the website and scroll down near the bottom, we have some great information about how to actually download a checklist of birds in your area, during February. So you kind of can narrow down that list, and that'll really help you out as you're trying to figure out the bird species that you're seeing. And then personally, I think the best way to learn your bird ID is to actually learn from other birders. So that's how I learned how to identify birds, is I just started going out birding with people. And so if you want to do that as a newcomer, we do have a community birding map that we're hosting on the website. So you go to that participate tab and down to community birding map. And we have this great map that you can kind of scroll around and go in and out and look for a Great Backyard Bird Count event that's happening near you. So you can kind of join a team, show up and bird with other folks rather than doing it on your own if that's intimidating. And then if you are someone who is organizing an event, you can add it to this form and we can host it on the map there so folks can find your event. All right, I'll stop sharing.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cooper. You get a superstar as well. You guys are professionals, obviously. And I think probably all of us maybe started birding before all these cool tools were available. And I used to go out just with a pencil and a paper, right? And just write stuff down, like super old school. So it's kind of fun to be able to go out with Merlin or some of these the Audubon tool, and be able to be a little more high tech now. One of my favorite new ways to do this too, Cooper, I'm not sure if you like this as well. If you open the Explore section in Merlin, you can kind of like scan through beautiful pictures of birds, and right from there, you can also tell us what you're seeing. So super.
Yes, I love that Explore section. It's a great tool.
Great, cool.
Almost forgot to unmute myself. You're not too intense. Your passion is great. Thank you. Thank you. I always worry that I come off a little too emotional or intense because I'm someone who often got told that my big emotions were too much. And I'm trying to learn how to like embrace that I have big emotions and it's fine. But it's hard, you know what I mean? It's a learning curve. You learn. But yeah. I'm glad that y'all are enjoying this so far, cuz like I said, I love birds and there's just so many tools for learning about them. And I think I'm similar to the highway Viking here, cuz you said that you missed the days of going fishing with your grandpa. As the sun would rise, you'd hear all the birds and animals waking. The calls were a humbling sound while in nature. For me, that's kind of I had a similar experience. So I grew up in northern Alberta with my parents and my brother, right? And we would also go out camping and fishing and stuff like that, right? And when you went out into nature and you woke up and the sun would like barely be rising in the morning, you would hear just so many different birds. And I've often heard people describe it as hearing nature wake up, hearing all the birds, the animals, all this life around you. It's a religious experience. It's very personal, it's very powerful. So I can just close my eyes and I can picture the big lakes in my mind and the waves crashing and the sounds of all these different birds, so many birds calling and giving the best sounds and just letting you know like they're alive. They're here in this moment. We are here. We exist. We're all together. And you see them start to move. You see the parents feeding their children. You see the different insects over the lake. You see fish jumping, trying to catch things like dragonflies or mosquitoes. And I even saw juvenile bald eagles perched in a nest that they looked way too big for, but they weren't quite ready to fly, waiting for their mom to feed them. And just, it's a different kind of magic. It's a different kind of beauty. And I just love that. Me and my friends call fishing and hunting going to church. I agree. I agree. That's 100% how I feel about it. It's just it's beautiful. It's like nothing else in this entire world. And I just think that it's so important to connect with nature. And it's beautiful and it makes me happy. So that's why I'm talking about the Great Backyard Bird Count. That's why I want to give you different things that you can look at and learn from. And just being out in nature, whether it's hiking or just sitting out in your backyard for a little bit and appreciating the different things that fly by. If you can, if you're able to, get out to somewhere where there's a lot less people around and just experience it. Just be. Turn off your cell phone, unplug from everything, and just feel it. As you feel it right in your heart, you feel it in your soul, really. And you just realize being out under that great big sky full of stars, that you're just part of something so much bigger. You're connected to something amazing, connected to something that's just so much more than just you. It can be healing as well. It's true. It's true. It's it's actually scientifically linked. Nature and anti-anxiety, relaxing, resting, and it changes how your brain works and it helps you heal. It makes you feel differently. It's important. That's why a lot of people will say you can't just sit at home. You got to get out. You got to go for a walk. You got to go touch grass, touch a tree. It really is. It's very important. Resets your circadian rhythm. It's true. Yeah, we need it. We need it to reset. We need it to recharge. We need it to feel better. And it's amazing. So I'm going to send you the link to the Bird Academy. Boop. That's in the chat. That's where that video was that I was showing you. Some of these are paid, but there's a lot of these that are free. For example, if you just want to, you can do bird trivia. You can learn about how to help birds. You can just learn about birds like nighthawks. You can learn about migration, learn practical ways to help birds, eBird. Like there's way more information here than what I could possibly even go through. And it's really, really interesting. And there's even, as you can see, there's not just white people. There's not just white people. We got people from all over the world with various backgrounds. It's really, really great. And it's just fascinating, some of the things you'll learn. So, yeah. I love this kind of thing. I love learning about birds. There's also things about painting birds. So if you're interested in painting, there's actually about Liz Clayton Fuller here, she does painting birds, and she'll teach you about like wildlife sketching, drawing birds, painting birds. So if you're an artist type, you can learn more about that. And I believe there's also photography here if you want to learn more about bird photography, as well as bird audio and learning about like recording bird sounds or how to identify birds just using sounds. And there's also there's programs like Nest Watch, where if you set up a bird box or you see a bird nest, you can learn how to report about that and watch the nests in your backyard. You can learn about Darwin's finches. We can learn about radar. Like, there's just so much stuff here. It's fascinating. Like art, bird and cat conflict, which is a huge problem, of course. Just like I said, there's so much more information than I can possibly go through, because I would probably be here for days if I tried to talk about everything. There's over 100 birds that are in my area, according to the Merlin app. Yeah, Speezix, when you start actually paying attention to just how many different birds are around you, it'll blow your mind. Because, of course, there's the more common ones that we see every day that almost become like background, right? Like, for me, chickadees are everywhere. It's like, okay, they're there. They're kind of expected, right? But then you start looking closer and you realize, wait a second, there's also this bird and there's also that bird. And wait, that's not a black-capped chickadee, that's a mountain chickadee. They're two different kinds of chickadees. I gotta run because I gotta get ready for work, but I hope the rest of the stream goes well. And if I remember, because I think it'll pique your interest, I'll DM you a few links to some neat books on Discord. Tell Roach I said hi. Of course. I would be very interested, Highway Viking. I would be. Please send me that message with those books. You have yourself a great day. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate everyone who drops by, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. So thank you for joining me in this. Thank you for learning with me. Just take care of yourselves, okay? Take it easy. Take care. Oh, what's this do? It says it's for children, but I kind of want to check this out. It says I can make bird box. It's a music game with birds. Oh, that's fun.
You gotta get. See ya.
I'm gonna and animals. I'm gonna put in this guy. Let's see what happens.
The bones are the skeleton's money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your
Thank
hair.
you, Viking! Thank you for the gifted
All
subs!
they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Undergrounders have as much food as this. The worms are...
Bye! Thank you for the 5 gifted subs! Bye! Oh my goodness! I love that! And we have a high grade level putting another bird in there. We're gonna beatbox. What does this do? This is so funny. I love this. Is that a frog? Yes, and frogs. This is the new stream intro. Is there another frog in here? That's a fish. This is my jam. Uh-oh. That was great. Oh, hey. You can learn about bird anatomy and learn bird songs. So this is the last thing I wanted to tell you all about today. This is iNaturalist. And iNaturalist is basically like playing Pokemon, but for real life. So if you've ever wanted to go around and build your own Pokedex, you can do that. It's called iNaturalist. And everything that's alive can be put in here. So birds, insects, plants, everything. So what you do is you record your observations. So as you can see, take pictures, then you share them on here, and then people will discuss it. So this is another way to contribute to science. Everybody contributes. It's really, really easy. So there's a lot you can do. Some places do bioblitzes where everybody goes out, takes lots of pictures, does lots of stuff. You can learn about nature. You can crowdsource ID. You keep track. Like, it is another community project. And again, it's an app. It works on Google Play. It works on Apple. And anybody can use it. Absolutely anybody can use iNaturalist. So I'm going to log into mine and give you all a look at it. Ready? So this is me. And here's what my dashboard looks like. So I sign in right away. And I have it set so that if frog observations from any in the world come up, I can check it out. Because I just like seeing different pictures of frogs and what's up with frogs just everywhere, you know? So you do not have to be correct. You do not have to know everything when you are submitting it. So some people will know exactly what they're submitting, because see here, this person put in, they took their picture of their toad, they took that picture, they put it in there, it's a European toad, and see how it says needs ID here? That's because when you click on the picture, this will show you the official, this is what we know European toads look like. So here's our different photos to compare to. So we know that these are the officially recognized by other people, other scientists. These are the ones we've recognized as European toads. And you can put in more information to help out people. Like, is it alive? Is it dead? Where did you see it? what was it doing, all that kind of stuff. So you can give as much information. You try to give as much as you can. If you can't, that's also okay. And then you can look at the history and things like that, right? Is it similar to other things? And if I agree, I would hit that agree button, and that would give us, yeah, that is definitely that. And see, there's lots of people who identify them quite frequently. And the information, alive or dead, established evidence of presence, life stage, sex, all that kind of stuff. And for this to be accepted as something that you can use for research, it needs to have at least two approved identifications, like two saying that's what it is. And then it'll be added to the pool of data that various scientists use. And again, you can scroll back, look at the maps, learn quite a bit. And there's, of course, forums where people will debate different things. But the big thing about these sites is you don't have to be an expert. It's not just people who are scientists. It's a little bit of everyone, really. So you get all kinds of people here. You get people with lots of expertise. You get people with a little bit of expertise. You get people who want to learn. It's everybody, anybody. And you can add comments. So see, you can see this person here trying to help me with the violet I saw was saying, this one's tricky because of the early season, but the leaves are from a different plant, which is like, okay, that helps, right? And people will come in and be like, that's definitely a ruffed grouse, or that's a feral pigeon. And see, these are all based on real pictures I took, and they use the metadata from your photos to help figure out, like, okay, this was a pigeon seen in North Vancouver. You can see on the map, very likely is another a feral pigeon because everybody's seeing them over there. And if I wanted to help, I could say it's alive. The app Seek is tied to iNaturalist and gives you badges for finding X number of a kind of animal. Oh, that is cool. That is very cool. So you could like literally get badges like in Pokemon. And see, you can put in the bone, whether it put a nest, the feather, the organism. And if it's roadkill, you can put up roadkill too. So there's a lot you can put into this. Get out there and be biologists, everyone. Go out there and be biologists. Go learn. Go use these different apps I've shown you. Find out about the nature around you. Yeah. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you about today. Everything I wanted to teach you about birding and about iNaturalist and how you can learn more about the world around you and connect with others through nature. Excellent. I hope you have a lot of fun with that, Speezix. I hope that everybody who tries this stuff out has a great time because, like I said, I find it a lot of fun. It really helps contribute to science, and it's just really, really good. Hey, Edelgard, are you okay? Okay. She just gave me a sad look for some reason. I'm not sure what I did. Cats are weird, but I love them. Come here, little one. Come here, you. Okay. I've got a kitty on my lap now. She just is a kitty who really wants some attention. See if I can get the motor running so you can hear her. But yeah, does anyone have any questions about birds or birding or anything at all nature related? Because I can answer some questions if you'd like. If there's anything you want to know more about. So I know that was kind of a lot, but yeah. They are the weirdest. Little weirdos. Oh, you want to talk on the microphone, Edelgard? Edelgard time. I'm not sure if you can hear her purring or not. How easy is it to make your yard bird friendly? Oh, excellent. I'm glad you could all hear her motor. Oh, yeah. I did say I was going to talk about that, but then I didn't. Let's go Cornell Lab. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. So, let's make our backyard birds bird friendly. Make our yards more bird friendly. How can we do that? Oh, this is the course. That's not what I meant to do. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to make your yard bird friendly. Bird friendly yard. I'm trying to look for a good photo of that. But yeah, Edelgard is very, very purr right now. She's in a very good mood. So, when you think about what do birds need? So, one of the biggest things, of course, that every animal needs, including birds, is a water source. I'm going to see. This one doesn't look AI, so we're going to look at that. Why would you do this to me? It's so hard to find websites that aren't AI at this point. Here we go. So, you want to make your yard better for birds. You want to have things like cover. So you need things like, see how this yard has bushes? That's a good start. Places for birds to hide, places for birds to be safe. Got a big old bird bath, we got a little cover there. But that might not be the best thing. You want things like local flora. You want different kinds of plants, different kinds of you want kind of like levels almost. So you want like your tree level, your shrub level, your flowers, your grasses. So for this area, they're like, hey, you should get an oak tree. You should have a berry bush, like service berries. You want to look into what is supposed to grow here. And you want to layer your plants, cluster, things like that. Of course, water sources are always good to have. And see, you can do it really simply. You can just put out a bowl of water every day, or you can do things like have moving water, a fountain, a waterfall, a pond, a dripper, a mister. Like you can get really, really creative and make a really interesting yard with a lot of these different things. And a big thing is, of course, to make things safe. So, like in colder climates, use a heater because birds do drink even in winter. So, I have a bird bath that's heated. You want your different types of feeders, but you want to make sure they are kept clean. And you want to make sure they are right for the species. Protect your window with things like the window decals or safe glass, or put different things, put your feeders. You can get like feeders that actually go on the windows. There's just a lot of different ways that you can help birds feel safe and be safe without making them feel like, oh, this is dangerous, I need to be safe. Here we go. There's a video. Let's watch the video.
Hi, I'm Bob Maselli. I'm a Marine Master Gardener, and I'm here to give you some hints on how you might be able to bring birds to your backyard. So what you're trying to do in order to bring the birds into your backyard is to provide a habitat for them, a familiar habitat. And in order to do that, you need to provide water, food, and shelter or cover. Okay, so why would you want to build a bird habitat and feed the birds or take care of them? Well, the reason is that over the last 20 or 30 years, almost half of the bird populations in North America have gone down by 50 or more %. And so by building habitats in our homes, we can give the birds that are left a chance to live and to procreate. In this Mediterranean dry climate, particularly during the summer, water is one of the main attractants that will bring birds in. In particular, the sound of moving water, whether drip or flow. Birds use water for drinking and for bathing, and sometimes even for fun. So bird baths like this are an easy and convenient way to provide water in the great bird habitat that you're building in the backyard. And you can buy bird baths in all kinds of types and sizes, big ones, little ones, deep ones, shallow ones. These are of a size that appeals to most of the birds that exist here in Marin County. They're not too deep. You can put a rock in it so that even the small birds like goldfinches will feel comfortable in using this bath. And they're not terribly expensive. This one is a little bit fancy. The one that you've seen before is nothing more than a simple saucer in a grid, and it can be bought anywhere for a few dollars. It's important when you provide water to keep it clean, because it can carry contaminants or bacteria that will make the birds sick or even cause them to die. It all begins with the plants, because that's where they may get food and that's where they may get the shelter or cover that they need to escape from dangers and to bring up their young. The oak trees that are a significant part of the Marin landscape, they are critical because they provide not only food for the birds, something like 24 species of birds just in North Marin use the oaks as nesting material. If they can't have babies, well, that's one of the reasons why they're going to lose the population. Shrubs are really great because they tend to be thickets that provide protection, and also there are birds that will only build in shrubs. And ground covers for ground nesting birds like our towhees and quail. About 2 years ago, there were 3 families of quail nesting underneath that ground cover, and they fledged about 45 little fuzzball babies. If you're now thinking about, okay, what do I have to do to get the kind of plants in here that I really need? You don't have to tear out your garden. What we'd like you to do is consider adding some California native plants. Why is that? The reason is that those plants and our birds have grown up over 1 million years together. And that's really important because natives will give them the food they need. The other thing about California native plants is that insects recognize them as being beneficial to them. Butterflies, for example, lay their eggs only on native plants because their caterpillars will only eat the native plants. And that's important because birds need insects too as part of their diet. Even if the adult birds do not eat insects, but eat nothing but seeds, They feed their young insects because that's how they can get them from just popping out of an egg to flying in 2 to 3 weeks. When you use California native plants, leave the parts of the plants that birds and the caterpillars will eat. And that tends to be the seed heads, the leaves, and the fruit or the seeds on the plant. So to be successful, don't be so neat. Leave the seed heads, leave the fruit even when it gets shriveled and dried. And particularly, don't use pesticides. And don't use rodenticides to get rid of the few rodents that may come to your feeders. The owls that hunt them will eat them and they will die as well. Be more natural.
So, a quick aside, he's actually covered pretty much everything I was hoping he would. You can find, if you look up for your area, let's say you live in Alberta like I do, you can type in Alberta native plants and they will give you different lists of them. And if you're having trouble finding native plants, one of the biggest things you can do is literally you use your books, you talk to other people, and you can just dig them up. So let's say you want to plant, clover and you see it growing in a ditch or in a crack in a ground or somewhere where you know it's going to get killed, just dig it up and replant that in your garden. You can honestly do that. We have an ornamental crabapple in our front yard. Thought for sure there would be little apples everywhere, but come winter, all the ones on the ground have been eaten. Yeah, yeah. It's really funny because we always think of how neat and tidy everything has to be. But no, if you leave it, the animals will use it. They love to eat. Nature takes care of itself. Hey, Google, play CKUA radio. So there's a lot to learn from nature. There's a lot to learn from keeping things. You don't have to keep things tidy. You can keep things a little bit messier and don't use the pesticides. The pesticides are literally the worst thing we can use for everything because it kills the insects which the birds eat. We need insects. We need nature. We are part of nature. We are not separate. So, yeah, let things get a little more wild. And you can even just dedicate a corner of your yard to being a little more wild. Like, I literally have a pile of sticks in my yard for birds to hide in, and they even take the sticks for nest building in the springtime. So you can build a shrub pile. It gives them some cover, it gives them a place to gather sticks, gives bugs cover too. Yes, don't let your neighbors intimidate you into a manicured lawn. Manicured lawns are genocide for nature. Instead, intimidate them back. Ask them if they like fireflies. Because if they like fireflies, be like, you should leave everything alone. Leave leave the leaves alone, because if you keep cleaning up all the leaves and dead, you know, the dead everything on the ground, like, you know, dead plant matter. Fireflies lay their eggs in leaves and dead plant matter. We are going to see fireflies go extinct in the next 10 years or so because of how many people rake leaves and clean up their lawns. So, if you want fireflies around, you got to stop cleaning things up all the time. Just let nature be wild. Let it go a little bit. Stop with the poison. Stop cleaning everything. It doesn't need it. This is all just stuff that doesn't need to be done. Let things be a little more natural, a little more happy, a little more wild. Oh, and if you do want to deter things like mice, squirrels, mammals of any kind from your feeders, I have a solution. I do have a solution. if you... Okay, so you know what you put on them? This. Maybe not this exact brand, but you put birdseed hot sauce on your seeds and you will deter any mammal from eating your spilled birdseed. So, see how that squirrel looks angry squirrel birdseed hot sauce? Ooh. Yeah, fleas aren't ideal. They're not really a thing I have to deal with here in northern Alberta, but yeah, fleas are not ideal. I'm not an expert on that subject, so I can't tell you how to deter fleas. I'm sorry. But yeah, birds do not have taste receptors for spicy. So if you want to keep away the squirrels, the mammals, even deer. It works on any kind of mammal. This is actually the one that I usually get. Cole's Flamin' Squirrel. Yeah, no cold weather would probably do the trick, wouldn't it? So yeah, squirrel control. Stop it. I just wanted to show the picture. And everything's mad at me. But yeah, they come in different flavors. You literally just put in like a tablespoon with a bunch of your seed, and the hot pepper, the hot sauce deters the squirrels. They won't. The birds will eat it. They don't care. Birds do not have taste receptors for hot. And squirrels, mammals, anything mammalian like us will not eat your seed because they do not like the spicy, and it does not hurt them. It just tells them, don't come back here, because they don't like it because it's too hot, and yeah, they're done with that. So yeah, that's the big thing is you can even put like cayenne pepper or other different kinds of hot pepper, but you have to replace that more often than the oil which coats it. You could probably even make your own. But yeah, if you're having trouble with mammals, try putting some hot sauce on everything. So that's my advice for you. All right, let's finish our video.
So this is how many of us get started in building a bird habitat, by going out and buying a hummingbird feeder and making some syrup, put it in, and lo and behold, the hummingbirds come to visit. First, the Anna's hummingbirds, which live here all year round, and then some of the migrants like Rufus and Allen's hummingbirds. This is a particularly good one to get for two reasons. One, it's not very expensive. The second reason is the hummingbirds know this is a feeder by its shape and color, because so many of us have bought one like this. What's important about this is to keep it clean. In the summertime, the syrup in there can turn into alcohol in 2 to 3 days. So in the hot summer, you want to clean this out every 2 to 3 days, easily. In the wintertime, you can let it go for a week or maybe even more. The second thing is what goes in it. What goes in it is not red. So don't buy red dye, and don't buy syrup that is got red dye in it. This is very simple to make. It's 1 part of sugar to 4 parts of boiling water. And that's the simple, because number one, it's too dilute for bees and wasps to use as nectar. And number two, it's cleaner and it's the right strength for hummingbirds to use. Most people feed seeds to the birds in their bird feeders. And one important thing to realize about seeds is they don't last forever. The nutritional value of them begins to decay almost at the time when they're put in a bag or a box. And so the first thing is you want to have a fresh supply of clean seeds that the birds can eat. If you can only buy one type of seed, then what you really want to buy is black oil sunflower. Not only do they have good nutrition, but they're also used by most seed-eating birds, except for the birds that you don't want, like house sparrows and starlings, because they can't crack the nuts. Okay, so this is a common type of feeder that's used with black oil sunflower, and it's typically used by smaller birds. The birds get at it by standing on these roosts and going in and getting one seed at a time. Here's another form of sunflower seeds. It's got no shells, so it's easy to clean up because there's nothing to clean up. The birds eat it all. It's the seeds of the sunflower, bits of cracked peanuts, and a little bit of millet, which finches love. And so it's a good either addition or in place of the black oil sunflower. And then there are many birds that like to have a mix of seeds. And so this mix is of black oil and striped sunflower seeds. And it's mixed in with cracked corn and millet that ground-feeding birds like quail really like to eat. But other birds will eat it. It's a good mix to use with them. And then finally, we have here a specialty seed. Now this is called Niger seed. That's because it's grown in Nigeria. And it is something that finches, goldfinches, house finches, pine siskins, and other finches really love. It uses a special feeder, and it will bring in the finches, and they will spend hours eating it, each little seed. So that's a very handy thing to have, because here in Marin County, we have a lot of finches. Some of the less expensive mixes of seeds that you can buy in supermarkets or hardware stores and places like that really don't have a lot of nutritional value. Yes, they do have some of these sunflower seeds, but they also have grains that our birds here in the U.S. don't eat. And so you're wasting half of it and making a mess under your feeder that can attract rodents. So you want to buy in a place where they have a good turnover of foods, because that means you'll be buying fresh foods. And you probably will end up paying a little more for a bag or a box of good, clean seed. But in the long run, that's actually going to save you money, because you won't be throwing away half the seed or raking it up from underneath the bird feeders where the birds have tossed it away because they don't want to eat it.
I really wish I could get the pop-up off, but so yeah, in conclusion, this is a good in conclusion slide. So birds need water, food, and cover. Stop it. Don't pop up. Don't pop up. Don't pop up. Oh, there we go. No, it keeps coming up anyway. I hate that YouTube does that. But yeah, keep your cats inside is also a big one, because if cats are wandering and there's a bird feeder, they attack the birds at the feeder. My cats hang out in a catio, so we don't have to worry about that at my house, which is good. It probably is. I think Niger seed is just thistle seeds. I'm not sure for sure if that's true or not. But like, yeah, it is It's definitely, I think, a regional thing, but the finches really love it. They love the small seeds. I don't let my cats outside too many cars. Agreed. Agreed. So my cats are only allowed outside with me because in Athabasca I have actually pulled dead cats off the side of the road, and it makes me really sad every time I have to do that because I don't like when cats get hurt. And plus there's a lot of wildlife here and I don't want my cats to get killed or eaten. Yeah, Kitty wouldn't know what to do outside. There's no treats out there. If you want to take your cat outside, there's options. Like you can have them out with you on a harness, or you can have them out in like a safe little catio, or you can cat proof the backyard in other ways so they can go in and out. Our last cat wouldn't attack birds. She preferred talking to them. Oh, that's cute, Gothic. I like that. Yeah. It's just there's a lot of responsibility you have as a pet owner, right? I just want to take care of them. I had a feral cat. I fed it for a couple years and then one day they got taken out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Our big cat just watches the birds. She doesn't care. It's true. It's true. They love to bird watch. And letting your cats bird watch or go on the harness or hang out with you in the backpack or in a even like in a little like baby playpen outside, it's a lot of fun for them and it's safe. Kitty does get to go out on the screened in front porch though during the warmer months. Yeah, I bet she loves that. Cuz it's like it's true. Cats, dogs, our pets also love bird watching. But, you got to keep the birds safe from the pets because otherwise it kind of ends poorly for everyone involved. I'm glad to hear everyone here has like really good experiences. They're really good pet owners. You have good experiences with the outdoors and nature, and that you're enthusiastic about like learning more and maybe trying some new things. So, whether or not you participate in the great backyard bird count this weekend, if you do participate, awesome. Please send me your photos. Please tell me what you saw. Like, tell me about it in the Discord, If you are not a part of the Discord yet, link is here. Please join the Discord. Please invite friends that you think would be into talking about nature, talking about comics, whatever. Please invite interested people to the Discord and tell me about your cats, tell me about your pets, tell me about nature. Come in and show me photos of birds. Like, just get really chatty in there. Have some fun with everyone. Send photos of things you've cooked, things you've made, art you've drawn. You can even share about like the streams that you're putting on. I have stuff for self promo, fanfic you wrote, whatever you want. I want it to be a nice, cozy community where we all support each other and share ideas. So check out that Discord. And of course, if you want to connect with me on other platforms, you go to that About section on my Twitch. And I have Bluesky, I have Instagram. You can find me all over. And, just keep on keeping on. Keep on hanging out together. But yeah, I think I'm about ready to wrap it up here. I've been streaming for a little over 2 hours, which is pretty much my limit right now. I hope you all learned something new about birds. I hope that you really enjoyed what you learned. And if you have questions later, please feel free to reach out to me and let's learn more about birds and nature together. If there's any topic you want to learn about nature, biology, anything like that, please let me know. Please send me a message telling me like what you want to know, whether it's more stuff about birds, a particular topic, the ocean, your pets. Send me a message. Let me know what you'd like to hear me talk about, because I will do the research and I will find out some sort of things. So let's all have a big collective stretch. Make sure you get hydrated. Make sure you get up and walk a little bit. And I'm going to find someone for us to raid. Thank you so much for coming out today.